It's been about 3 weeks, I think. It'll be 3 weeks tomorrow since I've done anything active, really. Last video I did, I was hiking at the nature preserve that I usually train at, and I had to cut it off early because I was having some severe pain in my left shin. And at first I thought it was a shin splint. I've never had one in my life. Didn't know what they feel like. I've coached some kids that have had them. I have a friend who's a hiker. She had some really bad ones last year. But I've never experienced them before, so I had no idea what it's supposed to feel like. And by the time I got home, my left shin area was swollen and red, and it was very tender to the touch in one very specific spot. So, getting medical input on the injury made it pretty clear that it was either a really severe shin splint, but more likely a mild stress fracture. And because of the location and the fact that it did respond to icing it for 24 hours, on and off, not 24 hours nonstop, that would be horrible. But repeated bouts of icing over a day, it responded. Still painful, but got better. After about a week, I didn't really feel a whole lot, but I gave it another 2 weeks of no training of any kind. I didn't do any walking, didn't do any hiking, didn't do anything. I just stayed off it as much as possible, iced it as much as I needed to in the first few days, and now it's been about a week since I felt anything wrong. So I'm doing a small walk right now. I don't have any weight on my back, but I am walking over to a quasi-public basketball court. Technically, it's in an apartment community that's like 2 miles from me, but it's the closest outdoor court, and they don't seem to know that I don't live there. So I've played there on and off for the last, year or two, something like that, year and a half. And it's a great court for an outdoor court, but I noticed that last year when I was training for last year's attempt at the thru hike, I had no foot problems, I had no leg problems, which is crazy because I've got bad knees. I've got an old football injury in my left ankle that has a rod and several pins in it, or a rod and several screws in it. So, I've got several reasons to have problems with my legs, but last year I didn't. And this year, after only training for a month, I had that issue with my shin. So I tried to figure out what I was doing differently, and I realized I wasn't playing basketball this year. So I'm wondering if all of the lateral movement and the sort of like springboarded, jumping, that type of movement, somehow kept the bone and the ligaments in a better shape and less likely to take strain. So it's like I said, it's been 3 weeks. It feels pretty freaking healed. I don't feel anything now. So I'm going to give it an hour of playing ball, see how that goes. And hopefully we can get back on the thing. I don't know what's going to happen with the hike this year. I think it's too late. I think I would need at least another month because I lost 3 weeks, and I can feel the difference. My body does not feel like as strong as it was 3 weeks ago. And even 3 weeks ago, I needed a good month. So I needed every day, and I lost 3 weeks of that month. So by the time I get another solid month of training back in to get a good foundation back on my musculature, it's going to be, starting into May. And I've heard some stuff that last year water sources started to get a little bit iffy, especially in the Virginia area after May started. And I'm sure this year is going to be even worse. So what I'm thinking about doing, and it took me this whole 3 week period to really make peace with it, but think I'm okay now with realizing that I'm going to go next year. I've always wanted to, well, I mean, when I was young, I wanted to have done the thru hike by the time I was 30. But that didn't work out because I was working so much. And then I was basically sick from 30 to 40. So I couldn't get it done by 40. And now, if I can get it done within the next few years, this year or next year, I'll still have done it before 50. So I'm figuring if I can train a little bit more committedly and a little more scientifically over the next 12 months, I can start again at the beginning of April like I did last year, and I'll have an even better foundation. I've already got all the gear, so it won't be a bigger expense. And, it might be the best shot I've got, because I think this year I had a window to start and get through the drier parts, but that window closed thanks to my stupid shin. But yeah, clearly I've made peace with it. But I think it's all going to work out for the better. I also had some kidney issues. They found a pretty big stone stuck between my left kidney and my bladder. And if I can't make that pass in the next 3 or 4 weeks, then they're going to have to go in and do surgery anyway. So if I was on the trail when that happened, that would have really fucking sucked. So, I mean, in some ways, maybe the tiny stress fracture was luck, because that saved me from being out there when suddenly a stone tears through my bladder. I don't know. But either way, it's all going to work out. I'm going to go play some ball. If you want to see how somebody who looks like me, and in case you've never actually seen me before, because I don't really show myself on camera much, but if you're wondering about somebody who has hands like that and that can play basketball, go ahead and look at my previous videos. If you go all the way back to early 2025, you'll find a video of me playing basketball that I put together just to let people know, because back in the day, my plan was to do the whole thru hike and play basketball in every single state along the way. But part of my training videos was showing that I'm not just some schmo. I actually know how to play ball. So check that out. If you ever check this out, if you're the 1.5 people who ever watches any of my videos, then thank you. But otherwise, hopefully we're back into our training regimen. But since it's going to be a year of training now, I'm going to have to find other reasons to post. I know I talked about reading some poems or talking about current events. So stuff like that will probably be more prevalent than training videos for the next, 10 months or so. And then I'll get back to more hikes and training stuff. But I like this channel. It's kind of like a way for me to have a journal, because hell, no one's watching this shit anyway, so it might as well be just for me. But if you are somebody who's not one of my few personalities, then great. But if I'm the only nut job watching this, that's fine too. So I'm going to go play some ball, and hopefully this wind isn't going to be a huge pain in the ass. In fact, I just realized, shit, it's probably messing up the microphone. But if you can hear me, tell me who your favorite basketball team is.